Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. I hope you're all doing well. And I'm very excited because we're chatting about TikToks today and how you can make a good TikTok. And it's crazy how much goes into making a TikTok when you really break it down, all the different aspects of it. So it's going to be good. And if you have any advice on making TikToks, definitely share it in the chat through the webinar because we love to hear all your tips and tricks. But as we wait for more people to trickle in, I do have a question for everyone. Have you started holiday shopping yet? All like Christmas presents, all of that. Have you started? Are you done? I know some people who are like done already, and I haven't even started. So let me know your thoughts because I know there's a lot of sales right now. So it could be a good time.
I can't believe people are already done.
I know.
That's crazy.
Some people are very, very organized. I'm halfway done. I'm almost done. Yeah, it takes me so long to think about what to buy people that I then am that person that's trying to order things last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, we have Amazon.
Exactly. I need to like rush ship stuff. Started, but definitely not done. Haven't started. Okay. I don't feel as bad that I haven't started then.
Yeah, Scott says, not a single present purchase. I am with you there.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. Well, keep sharing in the chat. And I love that people are sharing where they're joining from because they know that's the question we always ask. So definitely share that in the chat as well. And we will get started. So if you came across this webinar on LinkedIn or anywhere else and you're just wondering who we even are, we are HeyOrca. So we're a social media scheduler for teams and agencies. So we're here to assist you with all of your social media scheduling. And my favorite part is you can have unlimited users on HeyOrca, which is great because you don't want to have to limit who can be on it. You just want to be able to have everyone on it. So definitely my favorite part. And let me just, oh, I think our intro slide got deleted. I think I may have accidentally deleted it. So before we go in to the contest, because you know we do contests, we will do a quick round of intros. So my name is Alyssa, and I'm a community manager here at HeyOrca. So I work on our webinars, our newsletter, Facebook group, all that kind of stuff. And I'll pass it over to Lyle.
Hello, I'm going to keep it so short. I am the copywriter at HeyOrca. Super excited to be here, and I'll pass it to Jonathan.
Hey everyone, I'm Jonathan. I'm the paid ads specialist here at HeyOrca. So if you see ads all the time on your feed, that would be my fault. But but I'm also here because I'm one of the resident content creators or ex-content creator. So I did have a TikTok account. You can still find it under my name. In men's fashion. I did it for about 4 months and I got around like 63,000 followers. That's why I'm here.
Yay. We are so happy to have you. You are the pro for this. So we're very excited. I love that Jessica just said, go stalk him, guys. Everyone, you're going to have a bunch of new followers after this, which is great.
Yeah,
definitely check those out.
You're going to have to start making lots more videos. We also have Jessica in the chat, who's our social media manager. You may have seen her before. And she's also a TikTok pro and a Reels pro. So she might be able to answer some questions if you have them in the chat.
Yes, we have the experts with us today, which is great. And if this is your first webinar with us, we love to do giveaways. So you have 2 different ways to win an Amazon gift card. So the first way is we actually have this question here on our LinkedIn right now for a poll. Lyle just put the link in the chat. So go over there, vote on the poll, and you are automatically entered into the first giveaway. So you have until tomorrow at noon to vote on this poll. And then tomorrow I will be randomly selecting someone who voted and you will be winning an Amazon gift card. Now, the second way to win is all you have to do is share what you learned in this webinar on LinkedIn and tag HeyOrca. So since this one requires a little bit more work, you do have until Tuesday at noon to do this. And what I've seen a lot of people do in our past webinars is they will screenshot a slide that maybe has a lot of information on it that they want to remember or what they thought was the most interesting, and they put it into their LinkedIn post to make it a bit easier. So that's a little tip for you. So 2 different ways to win, and I just want to shout out Hannah. Hannah was our winner last week. You can see here she was recapping our copywriting formulas webinar. So shout out Lyle on that one. So this one was so good. So if you saw this one, you already know that. But if you ever want to watch past ones, just go to heyorca.com/webinars and you'll find all of our past ones there as well. Oh, here's our intro slide. It got all jumbled up, but that's okay. So we'll just skip it. You know who we are now. All right, so today we're going to be going over so many things. So we're going to go over some setup essentials, video topics, how to structure your video, and CapCut features. So we will dive right in and I will pass it to Lyle.
Awesome. Thank you. Also, I feel like I need to clarify. I just put in the chat that there's a better chance of winning the contest this week because it's American Thanksgiving. And I only mean that not because the contests are like something extra, but a lot of our community members are away. So I think your odds are better. That's what I meant by that comment. Okay, so setup essentials. Let's get into it. I want to say we are by no means saying you have to like run out and get the best camera for your TikToks. I mean, you can, they're probably on sale right now, but we're not saying that. We all just like use our phones and you're good. But if you are in the market for a couple little extras to film your TikToks, we do have some recommendations, not affiliate links. We're just trying to share good stuff that we like. So first, this seems so simple, but I forget to do it all the time. Most of the time you'll want to film with the back camera on your phone, but also just be sure to give it a little wipe because you don't want your videos to be blurry.
I also forget that you need to film with your back camera. I forget that all the time, and it actually makes such a difference when you do that. So that's such a good tip. I forget that.
It 100% does. And like, try both ways because I think what you'll find like when you use the back camera is that you're actually making better eye contact with the camera versus like looking at yourself on the screen, and viewers can detect that so quickly.
Yeah.
The other thing is good lighting. Your window with light coming in should be totally fine. Again, you don't have to go out and buy all the equipment. However, if you're filming a video at 4:30 and it's pitch black dark outside because of this little time change, or perhaps you live in Canada and it's just dark all the time, you can get artificial lighting and that will save your videos. So we use this one from Amazon. We do have a link to it. Oh, amazing. Thank you, Alyssa. That's a amazon.ca link, but if it's on .ca, I'm sure it's on all the other Amazons. Okay, audio, again, your phone should be good, but if you do want a little lav mic to use sort of to capture attention, like a visual hook, or if you just are interviewing someone, you want really crisp audio, or if you're filming in a very loud space, this little mic is so good. I've used it with our social media manager, Jessica, who's in the chat, and it's so easy to pair with your phone. So there's a link for that too. We love it. Again, a tripod. Do you 100% need it? No, but it can definitely be really helpful. So we also have a link to a tripod, and you may have also seen the little Octo Buddy things. You stick it to the back of your phone, and then you can stick it really on any surface. So those can come in handy too, and they're really not very expensive. And then, of course, editing tools. Jonathan's going to get into these at the end of the presentation, so there's going to be more on this later. But just to sort of cover two of our favorites, CapCut and iMovie, you can use the free version, or when you're getting really into the TikToks, you can upgrade to the pro version. And you'll also probably want a space to keep notes on video ideas. Just make sure you're keeping track of things. Shameless plug, you can 100% use HeyOrca for this, but really anything will do. You can use the phone, the notes app on your phone, or a piece of paper, whatever works best for you. of course, our favorite is HeyOrca. Okay, and then another thing that I personally didn't think about, but thank you, Jessica, for reminding me, film with a background that fits your brand. So for example, if you are managing social for like a university or a college, you're probably going to want to film on campus and not like at the mall or something. It seems so obvious, but really it's important to pay special attention to this because you want your audience to be able to recognize your videos right away, and having a consistent background can really be helpful for that.
All right. So thank you, Lyle. Those are so many things that I always forget about when I make a video. And something I need to get is a tripod, because whenever I'm making a video, I'm like stacking things up, like trying to make my own type of tripod. And it's a disaster, and it takes me forever to set up. So I need a tripod. All right, so we're going to get into defining your purpose and community. So when you're creating a video, not just for TikTok, but for Instagram, YouTube, wherever you're making video content, you want to make sure that your video has a purpose and it's going to be something that your community relates to. So here are a few examples of video purposes. So the purpose of your video could be you want to build brand awareness, you want to entertain and relate to your community, nurture and retain your community, increase customer conversion, boost engagement, teach something about your brand, drive traffic to a landing page, blog, or a resource, or to gather feedback and encourage participation. So if your video has a purpose, your community is way more likely to watch it, watch the full thing, interact with it, because they feel connected to it. So just something to remember is to always have a purpose of your video. And this is my favorite part. We're going to break down a video. So there are different areas of a video. So here's a video structure. So here we have videos usually start out with a hook, and then we have a rising action, and then the climax is usually in the middle, a falling action, and then an ending CTA. So we're going to break down all areas of this video structure, but we actually have a video we're going to go off of for all of it. So I am going to play it for you now. All right, so here is the video we are going to break down.
What's the rarest drink order you've gotten recently?
I got a lavender pumpkin spice, and it was interesting.
Let's try that. We have our pumpkin spice latte with espresso, whole milk, and a lavender shot. Let's give it a try. I think this could be really good, actually. No, I like that. It's just a little bit sweeter, and there's like notes of lavender, but primarily pumpkin. I feel like you should try this. Okay, bye guys.
All right, so that is the video we are going to go through today. So let me get the presentation back up. I also now am just craving a drink of some sort, and I would try this pumpkin spice lavender. It sounds kind of interesting, but I would try it.
Me too.
I think I need to get one after this. But that video, by the way, was from the Nitro Bar, so shout out to them. So now we're going to break down the video into the video structure. So the first part of the structure is a hook. So if you're not familiar with what a hook is the initial phrase or action that captures the audience's attention and gets them interested in your content. So crafting a compelling hook will get your audience to watch through the whole video, and then maybe they will even comment, send it to their friends. So you really want to capture their attention right away. So for this video that we just showed, what was the hook that they used? Sometimes with hooks, they're so smooth that you don't even realize that they're happening, which is a good thing. So this one, their hook was, what is the rarest drink order you've gotten recently? So right away, that's the very first thing that they said in the video. They captured our attention. And now I want to keep watching because I need to know what this drink is. And of course, we can't talk about hooks without giving examples. So I'll pause on this slide for a few seconds if you want to screenshot this. But here are 10 examples of verbal hooks that you can try in your next video. They're all very easy to relate to any industry or any topic that you're talking about. And I will mention we do have a whole blog on hooks as well. So I'll put it in the chat here. So yeah, here are 10 verbal hooks, and we will also give you 10 visual hooks. So visual hooks are cool because they're just like little things that you don't even realize are happening in the video, but they're actually catching your attention. You've probably noticed many people using random objects as a microphone. That's a common one. Shaking their phone at the beginning, the tapping ASMR, sometimes zooming in the very beginning of your video. So many different ways that are just little things that are happening that can really capture people's attention. So these are our 10 favorite visual hooks. The cup. Yes, whenever I make a video, I hold a coffee cup because I was told that works, and I think it does. So, and sometimes there's nothing even in the cup. That's a little insider information. Sometimes I've already drank the coffee and there's nothing in the cup, but I still use it. All right, so the next area we are going to break down is rising action. So what is a rising action? So this is a part of the video where the story really builds and the viewers are getting more curious. And, this is where you're adding more context. You set up a problem or introduce stakes. So for this video example, what was the rising action? So this was that the barista answers the question. So the barista told them this is what the rarest drink was. And then she proceeds to make the drink, showing you all the ingredients and the process of creating it. So it kind of hooks you again because you're curious of, how are they even making this? Now you can kind of see the whole process, the behind the scenes look. So that is considered the rising action. All right, so I'm now going to pass it to Lyle, who will go through the last three.
Thank you. I was just in the chat, Michael was saying we could do a guess what's in the cup, like behind the scenes thing. I think that's so funny.
I like that.
We pull out a little like whale.
I love that. I'm just going to start putting really weird things in the cup and kind of show it and see if anyone notices.
Love it. Okay, so back to the presentation. The next part of the video is, of course, the climax, which is what we've all been waiting for, the peak or the most exciting moment of the video. This is where you solve the problem or you reveal something or show us a product, the final thing. So in this case, the climax of the video is the final drink is revealed and the interviewer takes a sip to try it. Then we get into the falling action, which honestly you should, in most cases, try and keep quite short relative to the other parts of the video. This is sort of like a transition piece between the climax and the final CTA. So it's the part that sort of winds down the video. And again, on the screen, try and keep it short. So in this case, the interviewer explains what it tastes like and emphasizes how good it is, which leads us to the CTA, the call to action, which Jonathan's going to cover.
Okay, so the call to action at the very end. So what is a CTA? It's really just a simple phrase that tells your audience what to do next, whether you want them to like your video, to follow your account, to subscribe to your channel, to click a link, whatever it is, it's just asking them to take the next step, right? And it's important to make sure it's clear. We don't need to get cute about it. Just be very clear about what you want them to do. That way, you can keep your engagement up and keep them connected to your content. So in the video, the CTA, where the interviewer invites the audience to come and try it out for themselves. Very simple, very straightforward, nothing fancy. So where do you normally put a CTA? So you can put it in the captions. You can also put it as text on the screen, and you can also say it verbally. The more CTAs, the better, because some people might not look at every part of your video. So that way you can grab as much attention as possible. And here are 10 CTAs that you can try in your next video. Feel free to screenshot this. So something like tag your best friend, your whoever, your bestie, or follow for more type blank content. You need to come try this. Which one's your favorite? Comment, subscribe, save this for later. What do you think? Just all different types of actions you want them to take. And it doesn't have to be the same action every time, because then people could also get desensitized about when it comes to your content and what to do. So you got to keep them on their toes. And most importantly, kind of touch on it, just experiment with different formats.
Yes. And remember, not every video is going to be the best video in the world, but we encourage you to post it anyway, because that's what it takes to learn what your community wants to see from you. So some ideas to get the inspo sort of started. These are video formats that we see are working very well right now. So how-to videos, product demos. If you have a physical product demos can be really good. Especially if you use a visual hook to capture their attention. A signature series, which is a series that's very unique to you. So for example, again, if you're running social for a university or college, maybe every Tuesday you go around with a mascot and you interview students. I don't know. It's a random example, but it's something that would be very distinct for your brand, unique to you, and easily recognizable for your community. Behind the scenes content is still a good one. And of course, TikTok trends. We also want to emphasize you do not have to jump on every single TikTok trend out there. We would, in fact, encourage you not to do that. But there are going to be trends that are probably relevant for your brand. If you're looking for TikTok trends, we do have a list of trends that we update every week. So you can check that out for inspo. And then, of course, experiment, but there are some things in your video that you can and should keep consistent. So things like brand fonts and colors, messaging. So your overall like brand values can stay consistent, should stay consistent. Signature series can be very consistent, of course, the background of your videos, and also reusable intros and outros. So if you are a YouTube person, I personally am obsessed as a watcher, not as a creator. But you'll notice that YouTubers will a lot of the time have like their distinct intro, like, hey, what's up, you guys, or whatever they do. So that's something that you can emulate in your TikTok videos. You can have a distinct intro or outro. I probably wouldn't do both, but who knows? And that can make your videos really recognizable for your audience.
We do have a question here in the chat. So can you give some examples for how to apply some of these types of videos if you're an artist or musician? I feel like the first thing that comes to mind is if you did a behind the scenes, I think that would be very cool for TikTok, just because I think people are curious about, the life of an artist or musician. What's a typical day? I think that would be really cool. You could even do like for a signature series, you could say, you could kind of break down the industry, maybe provide people more education about it. But I think behind the scenes would be very cool. I feel like that would be a good one to do.
Yeah, I wanted to add too, I was saying in the chat, and Julia agrees, that CTAs can be just a question for engagement. So if you think about a CTA, a lot of the time you'll think like it has to be like, shop our products now. And it absolutely can be something that's more salesy. But a CTA can also be an engaging question, because your goal might not be a conversion. It might just be engagement. You want to nurture your community. So your CTA can just be a simple question. You can also have your question and then say, leave your response in the comments. You'll see that a lot. Personally, I don't even think you need that. I think you could just land on the question mark. And it's all you, Jonathan. What we came here for.
What we came here for. CapCut features to use. So CapCut has a lot of different features. Um, and so one of the ones that are the most common to use is just the trim tool. Because what it does is it helps you cut out like so what I like to do when I'm filming videos is I'm not gonna record something and then if I mess up, I'm not gonna go stop the video and then start it again and keep going. I just keep it as one long take and then I'm just gonna cut out the parts that didn't make the cut. So that way you can just cut out and edit the things that you want and stop it exactly where you want as well. That way you can keep your video short and engaging, so it's perfect for TikTok. Also, like I said earlier, reduce the number of takes by cutting out the stuff that didn't make it, and then also keeping your community watching multiple times. Another feature is an overlay that you can add. So what it does is it lets you add images or videos or graphics on top of your main video. That way you can just, it's another way to keep things interesting. Or you can also use it to add in extra detail or context. So for example, let's just say you're talking about different brands in your video, for example. And then for each brand you talk about, you could have like the logo pop up every time you mention it on the screen. So then that's something that this feature can do. And then adding engaging titles with text. Well, adding captions to your videos is obviously important because like comment in the chat, like how many people watch videos on social, but your sound is off? Because I like never watch videos with my sound on. So if they don't have captions, I would probably not watch the video ever. So having captions is just another way to engage people because not everyone likes to listen or watch with sound on, right? So that way you're still going to get people watching your videos despite how they like to do it, right? And then it's just easier to convey info, right? Just different ways that people can understand because some people are visual learners, some people are more auditory. So that way you just capture as much of the audience as possible. And accessibility. And then one of my favorite features on CapCut, which is the auto captions, because you just talk, you hit auto captions, and it's going to generate all the captions for you. It's obviously not 100% accurate, so you got to go back and make sure that you say or it said the right words, because sometimes you'll say something and it's something completely different, or every time you say it's going to show up as so you probably want to delete it. But really it's just to make your videos more engaging. But like we talked about, especially a lot of people don't watch it with sound. And then you can also spice up your video with audio. And what this does is it lets you add background music or voiceovers or sound effects just to enhance your video. Because a lot of times, a lot of sounds are copyright. And so as brands, we can't really use it. So when we have these types of more generic or non-copyright audio, we can actually use them just so that it's not like dead silence in your video. Really just to make it more entertaining. And then also it's just like, depending on the audio that you use for your video, it really kind of sets a tone for your video and the brand, because you can just hearing the sound, you'll feel a certain way, right? So if you want to help convey a message in your video, having the right sound that's appropriate for your video will also help you with that.
We do have a question in the chat. Do you find editing auto captions on CapCut easier than on Instagram?
I find them both annoying on your phone regardless, but if I was to do it, I would do it, or when I do it on CapCut, because on CapCut, like I can make sure everything is already edited, and then I export, and then when I go to Instagram, all I gotta do is upload it, right? As opposed to jumping multiple steps, this way is just a little bit easier. And it also just helps keep the there's also more like font options on CapCut. There's just more things you can do with it. So I would prefer to do it on CapCut. And continuing on the sounds, yeah, like I talked about earlier, there is free music that you can add to it, or just sound effects if you want something. Like, for example, if I don't know, if you wanted to make a point or like a mic drop kind of thing, and you have like an explosion kind of sound right after you make your point, right? Just to kind of enhance your video. Or what you can do is you might have audio from a video or something that you wanted. You can specifically take out the video or extract just the audio from that video and then insert it into a different video if that's what you wanted as well. Or you can just easily record yourself and talk over it or as like a voiceover. So maybe, for example, if I don't know, if your video was more demonstrational where you're making something, maybe you do like a voiceover and you talk over it. So it's not just your hands moving kind of thing. And then this one's a little bit more advanced. You can get pretty insane editing when you do this, but this is with keyframes, and it allows you to animate specific elements in your video, like zooming in or something moving. What you can also do, I'm sure some of you might have seen the video where you have on the screen, it's the same person, but you're in 2 different spots at the same time. So keyframes is something that would allow you to do something like that just to make things more dynamic. But most importantly, have fun and keep practicing your editing, because it does take a lot of time and practice when you first start. If anyone did stalk my TikTok, if you go to the very beginning, my editing was absolutely not good, hot garbage. But as I got more, as time went on, I got better, and you could very clearly tell the editing was better.
I love that. Yeah, it's like it's something that you just have to keep doing. You're not just going to be amazing at it the first time you use it. Like I feel like I use CapCut not super often, but like often enough, but I'm still like I have not advanced to that keyframe part yet. Like I know how to split things and add closed captions. I'm like getting there, but it takes a long time. So yes, don't ever get upset if it's, it's not working exactly how you want it to. You just have to keep trying. We do have a few questions here. So do you find that using CapCut fonts versus brand fonts helps or hurts your engagement?
I mean, when I was doing my my influencer account, I didn't find it really making a difference. What was more important is actually how you hook and engage your viewer in the first place. Because like we see viral videos on like a daily basis and they all use different fonts, but like they don't go viral or get good views because of that. It's more so the content and the substance of the video.
Yeah. And then another question, do you prefer mobile or do you use desktop for CapCut?
I find desktop very, very intimidating. So I much rather prefer mobile. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, I feel like I've only ever used it on mobile. I'd be interested to try it on desktop, but I feel like it's just so much easier because I'm already filming on my phone, so I might as well edit on my phone as well. Awesome. So I think that is all the questions we have here in the chat. But before we go, we do have a few TikTok resources that I want to send through. So this is the hooks blog that we have. I'll send it through again. So this has all of the verbal and visual hooks in it. We also have a blog all about TikTok SEO and all the tips around that. So I'll send that through. And then I'm also going to send one about the TikTok algorithm because I find understanding the TikTok algorithm before you even make videos is really important. So I'll put that here as well. The algorithm can be confusing, but this breaks it all down for you. And then the last one is we actually gather TikTok news and updates every month. So if you want to see some of the new features TikTok has released recently, we do have that here. I know that was a lot of things I just sent, but I promise they're all very helpful. And I do want to mention, oh yeah, Lyle just put the poll in the chat again. So make sure to vote on the poll. You have until tomorrow at noon. And then you have until Tuesday at noon to share what you learned in this webinar on LinkedIn, and you can tag us to enter the second giveaway. And the last thing is we do have a webinar next week. I'll put it in the chat here. But we're going to be exploring how to build a strong LinkedIn community for a brand. Because I think personal branding is a really big thing for personal accounts, but how can you do that with a brand account? And we actually have a guest coming on to teach us all the ways to do it. So I put the link in the chat there. If you're a brand that's wanting to build more on LinkedIn, this is definitely a webinar you should come to. But that is everything. So thank you so much for coming today. Thank you, Lyle and Jonathan, for joining. And thank you, Jessica, in the chat. And hopefully we will see you next week. Awesome. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.